at it again, baby.
As soon as we get there. I think we froze a little bit.
We froze? Oh, man. That sucks.
I can hear you. I see you.
Oh, you can see us?
You can see
Oh,
it.
okay. All right, well, we
Yeah.
can't see us, but as long as you all can see us, then we're good. What's up, everybody?
All right, family, make sure you hit that share button. Pastor Ramon and 3J will be right back. But as you come on, hit that share button. Share, share, share. Type in, say hello. We are back. It's the well. Keep on sharing.
We go. Let's get it. Let's crack
What's up, everybody?
Yo.
Welcome back to the well. We are so glad to be with you. Apologize for that quick interruption, but I think we're back this time.
Yeah, we look fresh.
Perfect. We look good. Let's
get it.
So listen, it is your boy Pastor Ray, aka Pastor Ramon, or Pastor Ramon, aka Pastor Ray,
and it be your rapping minister 3J, Jehovah God, Jesus Christ, and justice. Without the 3, we can't be free.
And listen, we are so happy to be back with you. This is the Well Encounter Live. Brought to you on Amplify Network, as well as the Well Encounter the Well page.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're watching this on both YouTube and on Facebook. We got a lot of people already logged in. So if you're in, say hello to us. I see Chandra is on. I see Monica is on. So hey, family, always good to see you. Always good to be with you. Glad to have you here tonight.
Got my bro Dash on here today listening through. Man, we
Come
got
on, Dash.
people on here today.
I'm loving it. Listen, tonight we have a great encounter for you guys. The month of February is all about two things.
Two things? What you gotta go with the important one first.
So listen, the important one is
that's the important one.
Well, because listen, I mean, if we talk about God, though, you know, above all, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, all right, Black History Month, which is why I got my Black Lives Matter shirt on, my Black Lives Matter gear. Hey. You might remember from the video that me and 3J did.
For Your Love. Still out there on YouTube right now.
So, speaking of which,
check that out,
the other word is love. This is also the month of love because February holds Valentine's Day piece in it. So we're so happy to be with you tonight, and we're going to talk about both of those things. Listen, the month of February, the Well's theme for the month is redefining Black love. We just think it's so important to come and bring you images, healthy images of what Black love looks like.
That's deep.
Both the ups, downs, ins, outs, highs, lows, all of that good stuff.
We getting deep into it?
We're going to go deep.
Okay.
Listen, this month is going to be amazing.
We're going deep in the well.
We're going deep into the well, all right? And we have some amazing folks that are going to pour into the well.
Yeah.
So if you're on with us, go ahead and hit that, go ahead and hit the share. Go ahead and like this. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know that you're with us. Let us know what you're feeling. Let us know that you love that we're going to talk about love. All right.
Black love at that.
What is the well? The well is a creative arts and conscious awareness faith community. That's what we are. The well also believes in our theme, our motto, which is encounter the well, become the well, emerge and share the well.
That's like Jesus, right?
It's like Jesus. Like encounter Jesus, become like Jesus, emerge and share Jesus. Encounter love, become love, emerge and share love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is, bro. That's how it is. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You feel me?
Yeah.
So listen, listen, everything that we do at the well, because I don't want to get yelled at. We got people like Miss Nikki on who will yell at us, and I don't want to take the brunt of anything. Miss Nikki be keeping us in order. But there are 5 P's. Everything that we do at the well should lead you down a path. And we want to lead you down the path, starts with a P, of the 5 P's. I'm going to let 3J go ahead and take it.
Why do I always have to take it? Well, all right, so we have passion, power, peace, purpose, and promise. Right? That's all right?
Yeah, passion, purpose, promise, peace, power.
Even though it was last year, I still remember all of that.
Yo, and listen, I want to say what's up to Elder Mike Wooler, who's on. I want to say what's up to Juwan. Yes, we love to see you back, Juwan.
What's up, Juwan?
Jasmine, who's on. Everybody, Susie, who's on.
Hey,
That's
Susie!
it.
We got a squad over here tonight,
We got squad. Now tonight we're doing something different, you guys. We are bringing back the featured artist of the month. Yes. You guys know Miss Kim B. Kim B is our director of arts here at the Well. And so she's going to be hooking it up for us by bringing in an artist every month, and we'll feature that artist. Tonight, we have our brother, Samuel Rain, who is in California. Super producer Jackie, if you could go ahead and move us on over to bring in Samuel Rain.
Let's go. He got bars, I heard, too.
Yo, brother Samuel, how are you, man?
Excited, just the show started. I'm ready, get it.
Good. Hey, listen,
he already ready. Let him spit.
Listen,
let him just go.
Well, let's talk just a little bit, Samuel. Now, I hear that you are over on the sunny side of California. Where exactly are you at in California?
Los Angeles.
Listen, I love Los Angeles. That is my favorite place, man. So talk to us a little bit. How long have you been in poetry? How long have you been expressing yourself through the poetic word?
Well, most people say they've been writing forever, but no, I actually started rewriting in 2007 and decided that that's what I was going to do, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yo, that's so dope. That's super dope. And before we move on, I just want to say, I want to let the people know about the merchandise early. I know that you've got a couple of books out there. I think you have one with you. And what is your book called?
The last book that I released is called Dark Man Blues, John Bowl. It is a series of books that are coming out. Those are the first three. The next book is called Dark Man Blues, An Interview with Love. And of course, I've written over 36 books, so I'm just waiting to put them out.
Oh my gosh, man, that is amazing. Well, listen, we're going to be featuring you all month, so we're not going to take too much time right now. I know you got a couple of things to spit for the folks, so we're going to break and let you go ahead and just share that magic, man. Share what you got. We're here to hear it.
All right, thank you. This is my first reading of John Bowl. This piece is titled Death of a Continent. No longer native son, I struggled in the land far from my heart. My soul dimmed, bodies chained across seas. They nightmare my dreams. I see home, then the next ship comes. Welcome to Jamestown. I am John Bowl. And these are the moments we live and die for, trying to survive. Look into these eyes. Paper dreaming a shared moment between this life and reality. You wanting more from me. On top of the misery, no longer bound by the hope of better living. The making of America, my legacy. The scars on my body, proof of those 400 years I could never get back. Black on blood stains. It wasn't me, just someone like me. The asphalted new cemetery, black men are women too. Is that my child? Shot down, choked out, found dead in a cell. Can you label this painting my blackness in bloodstains? True faces telling lies. America paints itself as a place to be, masquerading, no apology, freedom confronted with its own truth, misgiving saying who is fit to survive, and yet skepticism. We will repeat her past. We are the animals kept from killing ourselves while waiting for the next generation to evolve. I, melanin. What would life be without the monsters of my today? Those nightmares of my father's past haunt my future. I see them playing their roles of days gone by, holding on, and they say, we need to let go. Strange how they play. That flag will be the last thing waving if they charge like they did in the past. This ain't that movie. We can do this without you. This, not 1865. It will be your last rites, an early grave, new rope. Past days forgotten, unforgiving memories. History don't picture the way they treated me at the end of a rope. Now, we hung differently. Bitter thoughts. seated into submission, held by murderous hands, to see my freedom before hell could chain me, milk and honey, the promise, bittersweet souls in the punch bowl, bondage and old beginnings, their future intentions, still slave to the system, ABMS. They say I have an attitude because I speak out, categorizing me as arrogant, but they speak as if they still own me. Years of Jim Crow, then they civil rights me. I've spoken to elders who remember they gave us our names, slaves, in the land of the free, reliving the past as if we were forgotten. America again asking for a chance to ignore our dead. I, melanin, judge because they cannot see the light. Born of melanin, my breath labeled a crime before I breathe. This is my crown. I wear it proudly, my guiding destiny. We are everywhere. We are everything and more. And I am Samuel Rain. Thank you.
Listen, amazing, brother. Amazing.
Bars. Love it.
It was this one line that you said, man, and I think Brendan also put, he said, history don't picture the way they treated me. I love it. Kim B talks about the monsters of today. Bro, I mean, you were spitting fire right there.
Yeah, bro, you was going.
And you were speaking truth. You were speaking our history. So listen, I see somebody say that ain't that movie. I love it. Man, I am so excited, genuinely excited to have you on all month with us. So everybody, if you have not, why don't you share with us real quickly, how can people follow you? Where are you at on social media so people can follow you?
Okay, on Facebook, I am Samuel Rain. And you'll see, we'll have a new picture, but I'm going to repost the Dark Man Blues picture. On Instagram, I am dark_man_blues. But if you'd like to find out more about me, all you have to do is just Google my name, Samuel Rain Benjamin, and everything that I've done will show up.
Awesome. And I'm going to put that in the chat for all of our people to see, and they can follow you that way. Listen, brother, I appreciate you. 3J said that was tough. Everybody has been throwing them snaps and fingers and fire signs.
Thank you.
So, bro, we're so elated to have you. Please make sure that, come back on with us next week. We'll be sharing your stuff throughout the week. So, guys, if you aren't following the social media of The Well, make sure you do, because we'll be highlighting him there, as well as on our website. He'll be our featured artist of the month starting tomorrow. So make sure you keep in touch with The Well stuff, too, because you'll also see links to him as well there. Again, Samuel Rain, thank you so much. We'll see you next week, brothers. Feel free to stay tuned with us as we go throughout the conversation. Jackie, we have an amazing group of people on. Thank you. We have an amazing group of people on. Why don't you bring the folks in for us so that we can go ahead and start up this amazing conversation?
Woo! Look at that.
Hey!
Look at that beautiful stuff.
I think we missed some.
Like, look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Listen, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Right,
look at all that beautiful melanin.
Why you hear me?
Look at that beautiful melanin.
Why you hear me?
So, I would love to go around and just introduce everybody, have everybody introduce yourselves. Before we do that, let me just, for our well folks, our wellians as we call them, I want to take the time to just point out two people that you will see and hear more from. The first person that I want to point out is, okay, and I think, so, and he's playing with the screen, but it's right below it. So that's... So, Harrison Morrow, who we affectionately call Pastor over here in these parts. Harrison Morrow he's now joined the squad, man. He is our executive director of The Well. So he is really going to be doing a lot of behind the scenes work, but he'll be on The Well a lot more in our encounters. So, Harrison, you want to say anything to the folks, man? You want to just greet the people?
Well, good evening, first off. Second, listen, I'm one with all the camera issues, but we're going to figure this out because this looks horrible. But I am absolutely elated to be joining The Well in this capacity and to be trusted enough to be joining this capacity. And I'm just really looking forward to, whatever God has in store. Man, we're going to keep having conversations. We're going to keep agreeing to disagree. But brother, we're going to keep doing it all in Jesus' name, man.
I know that's right. Listen, he's got a ball full of energy. And then we have this amazing squad on. But I'm gonna start right over all like maybe 2 screens across.
Gotta go to the brother.
Gotta go to the brother. That's
Gotta go to
it.
the brother B
So y'all already know Brennen B, but Brennen B got a special, amazing lady that I've had the chance to meet several times because she's amazing. Can I get my open voice? She's amazing.
Amazing.
But Brennen B, I'm gonna let you say what's up to the people and then introduce that beautiful, amazing, talented, lovely woman beside you.
What's good, gang? You know what it is. Black at it again. Black at it to win. It's your boy B. Back. Glad to be back. It's 2022. We missed y'all. And for this episode, I actually happened to bring a special friend of mine. You want to introduce yourself?
No, go ahead.
I think you better introduce.
Look, I don't do this, so bear with me, okay? But my name is Cathy Booz. I am from Nashville, Tennessee, and I work full-time at Vandy, and he and I have a business together. So that's another aspect of Black love, right? Working as business partners. But glad to be here, excited. Of course, I love what the well is doing, so definitely support. So here I am, out of my element for you all.
Thank you for that. So, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's the one you said that can sing like crazy, right?
Oh, I wasn't gonna say it because
you sing like
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I'm like, that.
Listen, Cathy has an amazing, beautiful voice, man. And with that being said, I'm going to go over down to the middle box, down center, because another one of our squad members is on, and that's Pastor Tay. You guys know Pastor Tay Ron because he's been on all the time. He's a part of the squad, but he also has he has a fresh thing going on down there, man. A fresh thing. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. You can introduce yourself.
So y'all know me, Pastor Tay. What's your name again? No, this is my boop boops, my wife, Kanitha. Fleming,
yes.
And we just happy to be here. Happy to share the love.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You got something to say?
No. Hi everybody. It's my first time on here. Like
she's shy.
I'm shy. I'm in the background, tuning in to the well, and just so happy to be here and enjoying everybody and listening all about Black love and everything. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I love it.
Hey, before we move forward, we just got to note the fact that Pastor Tay he definitely got a different little swag vibing tonight, man. He got that Black love swag vibing tonight. He's speaking the baritone coming out a little bit. It was a little different this time. I felt that.
I got one more squad member to introduce in a few minutes. Actually, before I move on to our next other two folks, I do want to highlight. I said Harrison. The other person I want to highlight, she's not visible, but she is always handling stuff for us in the comment section, and that is Miss Nikki. And I think, Jackie, you might have a picture of Miss Nikki. It should be right under Harrison's. Miss Nikki is always holding it down. She is officially is our director of so that's why you see her always in the comments. She already commented. She said, ladies, don't be shy tonight. But she's on and she's handling it down there in the comment section. So welcome, Miss Nikki, and thank you for doing what you do because you're amazing. Moving on up to middle center is another one of our squad members because he's still ready to meet part of the squad. He was at this thing from the very beginning. But I'm going to let my brother with the low register listen, ladies, he's already taken, so I don't want nobody talking about his low register because he got a beautiful, beautiful, amazing thing right there beside him. So I'm gonna let my brother right there say his thing and introduce his wife, or she can introduce herself, however you want to do it, brother.
What's going on? Haven't been on the well in a while, but it's always good to be back, man, with the family. Charles Smith, this is the queen of my life, Kessie Smith here. So It's been absolutely amazing. I just love being back, 3J, Moan, Tay, everybody, our family. So it's always good to sit down and talk with you guys and to talk about a subject that's so passionate to us, man. We're really excited about this evening.
That's what's up, y'all. Glad to see you guys. Y'all think
Always,
so
man.
Look so
Happy
They
to be
do,
here.
they do.
Yeah.
Listen, and there are people who are commenting. We got y'all got a whole little gang on it. Like this smells. And last but not least is an amazing young lady who I've had the opportunity to get to know more over the last couple of months. We spoke for the first time a couple years back. She's doing some amazing, amazing, amazing things. She is super talented. And I am just honored that she would even indulge us tonight because she has such a busy schedule. But that's my sister right there on the right, Mrs. Tonetta, who's Pastor Tonetta, who's hailing from the Table Church. So I'm going to go ahead and send it over to you and your beautiful wife who's sitting beside you. Y'all are an amazing couple. And I got the feeling Bukola might say something more than Tonetta does. But I'm going to let y'all talk however y'all see fit.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having us on. My name is Pastor Tonetta Landis-Ina. I'm pastor at the Table Church and also of Resurrection City, DC. Yeah, we've been married for a little while here. And yeah, why don't you?
Hey everyone, I'm Bukola Landis-Ina. We've been married for 8 years.
I know.
As of yesterday. And I'm excited for the conversation. I'm excited to hear and learn from everybody here. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. A shout out to our brother Chris Lucky, aka Lucky, who's in the comments. Man, always good to see him on. And Jordan, I call Jody affectionately. She's on as well with us. So pleasure and blessing to have all of you all on. Listen, we're going to talk about relationships. And as I said, our theme for February is redefining Black love. And there's some beautiful Black love on, man. I just love this picture right here. And we're talking about tonight.
I'm sorry. Shout out, Mom, because I just realized you just texted me and you on here, Mom on here. So,
okay.
Mama,
okay.
So shout out to my mother. That's her first.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Mama. So we're talking about Black love, and tonight is titled Love Ebonics. So we want to talk about love languages and all that stuff. We're going to hop right into this conversation. If I could just go around real quick, Kessie, Charles, how long have you all been married?
So we celebrated 1 year on December the 2nd, so a little over a year.
Cool. And how long were you all together before you were married?
So we got married on December 2nd, 2020, and our first date was December 2nd, 2019.
Okay, yeah, that's dope.
I wasted no time. It was not a game.
Not mad at it.
Hey, these streets ain't for nobody out here, man.
Exactly. Let me go ahead and close the reservation real quick.
Brennen and Cathy, I have the same question for you. How long have you been married, but also how long were you together before you got married?
I'm gonna let you take this one, sir.
July 1st. July 1st will be 5 years for us. And we dated for a little bit over a year when we before we got married. We got together October 2nd. Got engaged. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
Look, my brain.
No. Yeah. I'm wrong.
Look.
Wait, no. I am right. We got together October 2nd.
You better get it right, Brennan.
I had the thought to propose in December, but waited till July, and then we got married July 2017. So 5 years on July 1st of this year.
There we go.
Sweet.
We made it through.
What I love though is that Cathy, I think, now listen, it might be different behind the scenes. You might turn the camera on. She's like, you didn't know, but right for the moment, she's like, no, I know either. So it sounds like y'all.
I'm not that woman.
It was such a whirlwind anyway. We hey, bro, I understand that 1 year thing. Yeah, you got it. You find it, you get in, and you close the deal.
That's it.
I'm good.
Tehran and my sister Kanitha, I know you guys have been together. You guys just got married, but how long were you together before you got married?
A year, almost close to. It was,
a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah, we were together for a year before we got married. Yeah, we were together for a year.
Sweet. Okay. And then, of course, Tonetta and Bukola, you said you were together for 8 years now. You're married, but how long did you date before the 8 years?
So we dated just over a year, and then Tonetta proposed, and then we got married very quickly after that.
Very quickly after that.
Very quickly.
That's what's up.
This is the speed lane right here, bro.
None of us wasted time.
Hey, that's the first step in redefining black love. It don't take long, y'all.
Right. It doesn't. It doesn't.
All right. And then Harrison 3J, of course, if you want to jump in at any point, just let me know or just take it.
Before
I'd love to know. I think people would love to know. So there's a book out about love languages, and I'm just curious. Did you all take time to find out about each other's love language? Do you know each other's love language? Are you still learning? Like, how does that work? And I'm gonna let anybody go. I see Brennan shaking his head.
I'll start. Listen. We absolutely looked into the book, and I think we know each other's. But I told her, I don't. Part of the reason why I love the title of this one is because I don't like the boxes that those 5 put us in. But if we had to go by them, yeah, we've absolutely talked to each other and kind of figured out which one is which and how we can love each other better in our love languages, and also express love, from our love languages to each other.
Yeah, but it took some time to
Absolutely.
figure it out. I don't think while dating, not even probably the first couple of years, we really knew, right? We didn't take the time in the beginning to really kind of assess, okay, well, how do you want to be loved? It took a couple of years for us to do that. So now we kind of know. We've been in it for
we
a
know
minute.
better. We got a better understanding.
But yeah, so I think I know your love language now, though.
You do? What is it?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. Why you putting me on the spot? Why you putting me on the spot? Okay. Are we telling the love languages?
Sure.
Okay. Well, don't you? Like a lot of men, the physical touch thing is number one. Isn't that right?
It's a solid.
Fact.
Got to put your hands on things, Yeah.
I need to be cuddled, bro. I need to be cuddled.
It took a minute for me to be like, oh, okay. And so what is my number one?
Acts of service.
Hallelujah. There you go.
And it is the one, it's the most challenging one for me. It was for a long time the most challenging one for me. Just because the view I had of acts of service, in that I thought acts of service was like, I got to do big things for you. And it turned out that taking out the trash goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Wait, Tay, why are you putting her hand down, bro?
What's messed up is I also like words of affirmation. And I got to do acts of service to get them. So I be around here just taking out trash when they don't even get going out. I'm recycling these days.
You need me to wash this table right here? I'm going to wash this table.
Exactly. You wash the table and you get some physical touch. There you go.
Win-win.
I think we just heard a formula, guys. I think we just got a formula. Okay, that's good. That was good.
Yeah. I love it. Tonetta, Bukola, is it important to learn love languages? Is that important? Do you think that's important?
Yeah, so I would say we are very, very different. And that was really clear when we first got together. Yeah, I'm an introvert. She's an extrovert. When, at the end of the night, it's 11 o'clock. Can is it time to go home? And she's like ramping up, like all excited accents and making jokes and all kinds of stuff. So we read a book called like The Introvert and Extrovert because we were like, we get this thing out. And then, I think on a trip maybe in the first couple of years of our marriage, the book about love languages. So I am hardcore words of affirmation and quality time, which also comes out with our son, interestingly enough. And she's very much like acts of service and gifts. And we each very much struggle to do the others, right? Like, I'm like, honey, why do you why you put me on the spot? I'm like, I just asked why you were just
as soon as you asked for it.
Yeah. So
and then she's like, you look so beautiful. And I was like, but what have you done lately?
Very much.
I just told you you're beautiful.
It's tough to please an acts of service person, bro. It's tough.
Bruh.
Wow.
So I guess my question is for everybody, but and I think Brennan kind of alluded to this. We talk about the 5 love languages, and we've got gifts, words of affirmation, quality time, touch, and acts of service. Have you all found that possibly there are more than just those 5? Does anybody feel like, there's definitely more? And if so, do you have an illustration or you don't?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. There you go.
I don't know about y'all, but I grew up. No, go, Ted. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. When we first got together, I made you do the what is it called? Enneagram test, a personality test, and I thought that's way better than love language. It's just way more in depth, and it gave me a more feel of who she was versus the love languages, because like we all focus on the love language. What's your love language? Well, how do you receive love is what you know what I'm saying? Like, and how do I give it? So you know how I want love, but do you know how I give love? So it's like how we were saying, like hers is quality time, but if my best way of giving love is physical touch, they might not they do, but they might not always.
I was gonna say that might be, quality time and physical touch. I think that's a good marriage. No, I'm just playing.
I'm not gonna lie, that's me. Listen, that wins.
So I find that test way more beneficial to a relationship than love language. As Brennan was saying, it puts you in this narrow box that I don't think love can be in. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think love can fit in any type of box. Because what I cook you a meal and I'm giving you my love, and you just like, why didn't you make the bed? Because that's your specialty. So it's that type of thing. But when you
what I be saying the same thing.
When you realize what love means to an individual and how their personalities, how you cope with love, how you live with love, how you give, how you receive it, I just think a love language kind of puts a box in that I don't think it could fit in.
Okay.
No,
I believe like good pursuit of God is a love language that people don't talk about. Like the active pursuit of God, I think that's an amazing love language. Effective communication and non-toxic, that's a love language right there. People don't talk about. Definitely loyalty is a huge love language that people don't talk about. Because you can hug me all you want, but if you hugging him too, we got a problem.
Snapple facts.
I think for me, access is really important. Just like that I have access to you and that I feel like a priority. So if you are spending all your time on, books or meeting with people for work or different things like that, I think that's always been something that, we've always had to communicate around is, how do we make time? How do we prioritize? How do we, create family time, blocks of time that is, just for the family, things like that.
Okay. So, Charles, you mentioned this. You talked about spirituality a few seconds ago. I'd love to know. I mean, we got 2 pastors in these relationships, but I think we all know you two all to some degree. I'd love to know, how important is faith or spirituality. Now, I do want to say, we asked this question on our poll, and believe it or not, this is the first time we did a poll where everyone answered the same. We had 100% of the folks, and our folks that respond are diverse in terms of age, gender, sexuality, ethnicity. Every last person said that faith and spirituality matter in your relationship. I'd love to know, are you all in agreement with that, or do you disagree?
Absolutely. If you're not equally
you
yoked, I
wouldn't
don't
be
know.
here without Jesus.
Yeah, I think that was what connected us when we first, like literally on the very first date. I never expected it to be a conversation and us like openly discussing our faith and God and how God has like impacted our lives. And so I felt like from a first date perspective, you don't expect that. And it just truly blew me away. And he wasn't just talking about it, but he was actually living it. He was giving like all of examples had to do with how he was living his faith and, you know, helping others. And I was blown away. And yeah, it's definitely something that we practice. We pray together every night, which is something that's really important before we go to bed. We have our own individual practices and faiths that we have, and then there are things that we also do together, but I think it's incredibly important. Absolutely. We know that that is what is going to get us to the finish line, like of making our marriage work. Yeah. We can't do it without God.
Yeah.
I love that. That's love.
So Charles, you wooed her with your faith.
Absolutely, because Jesus is the best pickup dude in the world, bro. Nobody can pick up better than Jesus. I promise.
It worked. It worked.
Results, people. Results.
It worked.
Yeah, that's dope.
Love.
Now
you know what, Ray, real quick. I mean, and it's funny because I know for a lot of couples, you know, absolutely faith is important. And connecting on faith is one of those things that helps to kind of build the bonding thing. But you know, for Cathy and I, it's more been kind of our journey in exploring like our faith. I think we both have had some not so pleasant experiences with church, and that has affected our faith. And so for us, kind of being on the journey of finding, you know, what does faith mean to each one of us individually has 100% helped us in our marriage, and we are still working on like how we work through faith together. And I think it's because we've been more on these individual journeys of what does God mean to me for as Brennan, and what, you know, God means to Cathy as Cathy.
Yeah, I definitely feel like our marriage is a ministry. A ministry, as well as for me personally, it is God. Especially for me, because I've been through so much. So for it, it's understanding, it's healing, it's patience, all the things that God encompasses. So I'm grateful, you know, to have this marriage. It's been a journey. As a divorced person, getting remarried again, this to me, this is God. It you know, I don't know how else to say it, but yes, definitely faith in God, and what we've been able to build in this marriage has helped me tremendously.
So before I ask my next question, Harrison, you good down there? I didn't know if you had a question, bro. I see. I saw you shaking your head a little bit. So before I go next, I just want to see that, am I feeling, or you good?
No, man, I was definitely thinking, man. I kind of zoned out there for a second because we were just along like a good line right there. Y'all was talking good. Because I think you know, being able to actively and openly explore that faith world with the person, ideally, right, in the perfect world, and the person who's supposed to be your person, your favorite person, you know, is really supposed to be an equivalent to a best friend. I think it is supposed to be something that invites community, right? Because that's something that we see through the Bible. That's something that we see in our everyday walk of life. I mean, it's something we see on TV. We see it everywhere. And I think that it is something that when you learn how to do life together, regardless of what you believe or don't believe, as long as you believe in something, because at some point we're not going to agree. It's going to be some point that we're not going to see eye to eye, and we're going to need something that's beyond us to help bring us back together. And I've done and seen and read many an interview with older couples who've been married 40, 50, 60 plus years. And I'm like, my first question is always, so what's the secret sauce? Because I know people that's getting divorced after 6 months, and y'all got 6 decades. That's a long time looking at the same face. I'm waking up every day. I'm like, brother, you need to get it together, let alone somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's one of them things, man. When you find success like that, I think it's going to look different, and how they got there may look different. But I think it's some key things that's always going to be there. And one of them, typically, I've always heard was some aspect of faith, some aspect of spirituality, something that can tie us together when we're looking to break apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's dope. And in the comments, so Miss Nikki says faith is the anchor that holds it together. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. I love Juwan kind of steps in here. He says, for me, I'm crazy churchy, and my boyfriend believes but isn't churchy at all. But we both allow for one another to explore our own personal faith journeys. And Jordan said, facts, Harrison. I like to get into a little bit of a more personal conversation for each one of you all individually as groups. So I think, Cathy, you mentioned this, and so I know Tehran kind of relates probably as well, and Kanitha, but you talk a little bit about being in a relationship before and then divorcing, which I know both you and Tehran have been through. I'm wondering for both of you all as couples, and Kanitha, you can speak to this as well, right? What does that look like in terms of sharing that space, knowing that someone's been through something, and then embracing them? How does that resonate with you? How did you? What kind of process was that for both of you all as you walked through into these relationships that you're in now?
Well, first, knowing that Tay was, divorced freshly and trying to, I guess, handle it, making sure that he was ready to move forward, honestly. So giving him that time, knowing that it could take time, but I was going to be there for him. Like I said, I knew he was on our date. It's going to take time. I'll be there for him. So, and I just wanted to see, like I said, I figured like maybe there were some expectations coming from being married. What was he going to expect? So I would say, well, we did counseling, and that really, helped us to also navigate, and for me to ask those questions, and we were able to better understand and figure out what our marriage was going to look like and how we were going to move forward with it. But I did know it was going to be time, and I was all for giving him the time to be able to be open and ready to love him.
Yeah.
And I will
go ahead.
I will say, like, literally my divorce was finalized our second date. Like, literally we was chilling on my couch, and I got served with the that I'm officially divorced. So it was like bang bang. And and I remember us going out our first date. I was like, she fly, but I ain't, And I've always said this, and don't hit me when I say it. And I've told her this. I was like, at first, initially, man, it was just something to do. Like, I just didn't, I wanted to go out on a lunch date and just, I ain't think I was gonna fall in love. And it just kind of happened like that. And and once I told her, my stats, they wasn't looking too good when we first met, so I didn't think she was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I was sleeping on my boy's couch at the time. Boys, she took the car. I'm like, golly, I'm a little sickly getting over COVID, and she was digging me. I was like, all right, I ain't gonna say no to a blessing, and look at God. So, love.
And listen, I tell Kanitha, I'm so grateful for Kanitha that she loves my brother, because I know he's a lot to love, man. But moving forward,
nah, man. But I think it was real. It was similar. Similar and not so similar. I attempted to give her time. But I was swimming with the sharks, man. I had to. You listen, man. We was out there with the sharks. And y'all see how beautiful she is. It was a lot of them out there, and these streets ain't for nobody. Listen, so I had to. And I think one of the things, it was crazy because when we first were kind of talking and not officially dating, still in the situationship phase. I took a break for about a week and a half, and it was a hard conversation to have because I thought that week I thought the Sharks was gonna get me. But I just said, one of the things I wanted to do was I told her, I was like, I want to wait until, because I knew my feelings were moving past just situationship, friendship, something to do. I was like, I just want to wait until your marriage is final. I mean, you're not your marriage, your divorce is final before we continue to interact, because I felt myself going to a place that I wasn't 100% comfortable with her still being married, and so we kind of it took a little bit over a week, and when it happened, it was lit. Because I think, was it the next week or something like that, or the weekend after that, we, came down to Little Rock and made it official.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yep. It was a little bit after that, she came down to Little Rock, and it was, hey, time to close the deal, fellas. But I mean, I think one of the things I wanted to mention that really I learned a lot through dating and now being married to Cathy. And I think part of it came from her previously being married, is I had to learn and understand and trust God that you can't fix this. You can't heal this. You can't always make this better. And I think it's honestly, like, no lie, probably 6 months ago is when I finally learned the lesson. Like, you just got to do what you're supposed to do. You be you, and everything else will fall in place, and God will handle the rest. And it took a long time for me, and I mean, just from my own relationships as well, but it took a long time for me to trust that, that, all right, God, you just want me to be me, just do these things and everything else, and just to and to take time to really focus on, one, being the person I wanted to be for her, for myself. So being the person that, where I'm doing my own internal work to heal myself, to make myself better. And allowing that to be, to be, I don't know, inspiration or something. Just to be the place where God would show his hand the best. Because most of the progress we've made, especially recently, it wasn't even progress that I necessarily was pushing for. It just happened, and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice addition." Like, I see you, God, you did that. Like, I mean, and that's been, but it's been in a lot of the areas where I think we needed it the most. And so, like, honestly, just taking the time to trust God, like, all right, God, I'm going in this situation. It could absolutely, end terribly. It's gonna come with bumps and bruises, especially, fresh out of a divorce. It wasn't necessarily the ideal situation or perfect timing, but
then it was.
It absolutely was,
because
it wouldn't have happened. Yeah. It wouldn't have happened, like, if it would have been a month later. If we would have actually, like, connected a month later we actually met 5 years before we actually started talking, and didn't talk for 5 years. Like, we met once, said, hey, hello, how are you? I knew her sister, and it was, chop it up, but we didn't talk again from that first time we met for 5 years. And then magic. So, yeah.
I love what Dash says. Dash says sometimes you just got to be the best person you can be to that person, and let God play Tetris with the rest. I love that comment. Tonetta, Bukola, you guys, right, both are very professional folks. And yet, right, especially with Tonetta being in ministry, I mean, you guys chose to be in an openly, woman relationship, knowing, right, especially that Tonetta had this ministry going on. Can you just walk us through, what has that been like for you all to walk in that path, be open, let people, and not be ashamed of your love, and yet still have to deal with, I'm sure, some of the conversations, some of the looks, some of the things. What has that been like for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we first started dating, I was a high school English teacher. And I mentioned to her that I was having the sense of call that I had, a decade earlier kind of come back up. And she said, "Oh, I would be okay being married to a pastor." So that was a little bit of encouragement, and went through some discernment, went to seminary, all that stuff. But I think what was most important for us and continues to be most important is finding community, particularly of couples that are in the LGBTQIA community. That's pretty important. Bukola actually runs an organization of queer Christians, queer Christian folk, that we get together and talk about specific issues. I mean, one of the pressures on many relationships is definitely true of our relationship, was just family. I mean, most of our family was not at our wedding. And so there's just been a lot of in some ways that bonded us in the early years, but it was really, really hard to have to walk through that kind of rejection continually. And I would say, I think one of the joys for me about being here, on this program with y'all, is that, yeah, I feel like we don't get to lean into Black love and talk about it in Black spaces as much as we would like to. That's not, there are lots of spaces where we can't, have those conversations. So I think that also, there's a sadness there that I want to, you know, in some ways be present for the younger folks that are coming behind and let them know that all of these things are possible in very healthy and fruitful ways. But, it's hard when you're not invited to the space. I don't know. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that I think it's somewhat of a calling. I feel like God has so much to speak through the LGBTQ community that I think that, um, there's just the diversity and the just how vast the love of God is, and how it just is. It manifests in so many different ways, and I think that the way that the LGBTQ community has been called to speak something to the broader church, to the broader Christian community, and just to demonstrate something about the love of God. So
yeah, and something about family. I mean, I think we've had to grapple deeply with chosen family, and that has deepened our own relationship to think about kinship and those things in different ways. But I think, models of family in our communities are different. And so it helps us to think through what Jesus is doing when Jesus overturns traditional notions of family for discipleship models, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, because what we all, for the well, our squad is very committed to, we just really want our platform to be as diverse as possible.
Yeah.
And so we do our best to try to make sure that we get representation from anybody who can show those positive aspects of love. You know what I mean? And so that was so important. And I just want to tell you, we're so grateful that you all came on.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
honestly, yeah, we appreciate you. Charles and Kessie. Charles had a child already from a prior relationship. And so walking into you all's relationship, how did you grapple with that? Was it ever a time when you had to figure out Charles was like, is she gonna be okay? I mean, of course, I know Charles is like, well, somebody, if I'm gonna date somebody, I have to love my daughter. But were there ever any moments of anxiety about that, or were there ever any moments of how is this gonna work? How did you all work through that? Did you have conversations about it, or what did that look like?
Well, I would say when the bulk of our dating happened during COVID. And so there was a long period of time that I wasn't able to meet her just because of COVID. And the day I actually met her in person was actually the day we got engaged. And but I FaceTimed with her, and Charles does such a great job at just communicating to her about me, right? And communicating to me about her. So it was when I met her in person, it was I had already loved her. And Aaliyah is, I mean, she is just a gift to me. She has truly changed my life. She's very similar to me, which I think is why we connect so well. And I don't. We had no issues whatsoever. If anything, I wish we could have her more. And she just has such a beautiful spirit and gets along well with my family, and it's like she's just part of our family. Honestly, I feel like, you know, God blessing me with Charles is the biggest blessing I've ever received. But getting Aaliyah, that's like a double blessing, and I love them both. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, nothing. Okay. Nothing. Yeah, I was putting a battery in both of their backs. I was putting a battery in both of their backs day in, day out. I was like, she dance, you dance. She talk, you talk. Y'all, you guys hair, like, women stuff. I was like, you guys are going to love each other.
Yeah.
And God took it from there.
Yeah.
God took it from there.
I love her.
That's love. That's love. So, Mrs. Kanitha, you actually sparked a conversation up. Shout out to Mr. Mark James for this question. What do you all think about marriage counseling? Anybody can tag this one.
We did it. I think it's extremely useful. I think
we did it before we got married.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. I would say mandatory for sure. Yeah. Like, it's a good because especially if the person is objectional and they don't know both parties, because they ask and pull things out of you guys that you may not have done before. I mean, they do this all the time, so their expertise is extremely useful if you find somebody who's a good counselor. We believe they need to have, of course, the same faith as us, and I mean, it's very eye opening. It's a very great experience.
Yeah, counseling. And honestly, I can, at least for me, I can't speak for her, or can I? I don't know. I feel like we had a lot of our greatest conversations happen after the counseling session was over, and then we revisited and just, kind of got that better understanding of where we stood on certain things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Counseling for sure. And I also believe in individual counseling, right? So definitely for the marriage, but I have some of my, greatest epiphanies during my own sessions as well. And I think we learned about our temperaments. That was one of the biggest things that was an eye opener for our relationship and our marriage, was to learn his temperament and him to learn mine. So absolutely, for sure.
Even to the point where in one session, like one of our counselors, she literally pointed out, we were having kind of a internal struggle about power dynamics and things like that, and who would lead or whatever. And if anybody knows me, I'm chill. Like, I don't have to lead. I can if you need me to, but I don't have to. And actually, the counselor pointed out, she just asked a simple question like, Brennan, were you raised by your mother? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, Cathy, he would probably be like, he's kind of, he's played 1A or second, man to a woman his entire life. And so like, it's not hard for him to just fall back into that. And then, it was an eye opener because I had never thought about it like that. I had never thought like, I live with my mother. My mother was, she was the head of the household, and I supported her in every way she needed, every way I could. And I didn't think about how that even came into our marriage and how it affected our marriage. And we actually, after that, I took note of myself, like, okay, B, maybe you have to sometimes, even when you don't want to lead and take that role, because it is something that your wife wants. And she doesn't want to lead all the time. And this you are in partnership, and partnership means sometimes you have to lead. Not all the time, and thankfully it's not all the time. But there are moments where there are moments where, just my unique skill set. Again, my skill set is different from Cathy's, and there are times when my skill set is better, prepared and better to lead us through a situation, and there's other times when hers is. And I think that we have absolutely worked a lot on finding a better balance. Even when it comes down to like what we eating tonight, I generally don't care. And now it's like, I mean, but like we don't. It used to be an argue point, but now it's like I'll ask her, "Hey, you got anything you want?" No. All right, I'm gonna just make a quick decision and just get it over with, so we don't have to go back and forth, or we don't have to have the moment of, "Well, I know you want something, and if I suggest something, you gonna be mad because I'm gonna suggest something that you don't want," and going down that hole.
There's no harder question in the world, bro. There's no harder question than what do you want to eat. It's like, why does it take you 3 hours? Just chicken. You know we're gonna land on the same thing. Why are we doing this?
Hey, and listen, the other, the one, no. Lastly, like it be the part that always gets me is when like I ask, "What do you want to eat?" I don't know, just anything. All right, bet. And I'll say, all right, we're gonna order pizza. Really? You know what? I want empanadas.
Exactly. And that's bars. That's absolute facts.
Okay.
You like you don't know what you want to eat, but you absolutely know what you don't want to eat. It's like, come on now. Give me something.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest, because as a person that's gone through that premarital counseling, listen, when you take that question to counseling, they don't have a response for that, okay? They got a response for everything we didn't talk about, the direction the conversation I didn't want it to go. But when we talk about what we want to eat, well, I think that's a subjective thing. It's like, whoa.
Don't nobody want to get in them troubles.
It's crazy. Hey, but one thing Miss Jordan said in the comments, I think is extremely true. Counseling can peel your muffin cap back blue, but if you're willing to do the work, it's worth it. And let me tell you that I think one of the things that my individual therapist told me before I even started the premarital counseling, at the time anyway, my therapist, his name was Dr. Marcus Hummings at Howard University. Great dude. He said, I understand, kind of a good portion of where you are in life. This may have been my third or fourth session with him. He said, and I can already tell you that you're not going to let me teach you too much new. He said, that's not what we're here for. He said, but what we are here to do is to help you know yourself as much as possible. And I think one of the things that you will see in counseling is finding an understanding. So I got to say, as marital counseling, premarital counseling, I think the best thing it's going to do is not necessarily teach you anything new, but it's going to help you gain an understanding, whether it's of yourself, of the other person, or of how y'all come together, good or bad. I think it's to have all your options on the table and to be able to make some educated decisions going forward. So I got to say, I am 120% in support of counseling.
So I want to hop over to Tonetta. Yeah, go ahead, Tonetta.
Yeah, we definitely are all about counseling. One of the greatest gifts our pastor, when we were dating, did was require premarital counseling from a trained counselor, like a trained therapist. I mean, he did some basic wedding stuff, but that counselor we still go to proactively, and that counselor has been married for 50 years. And so to have her say things like, "Oh, me and my husband, we figured that out in year 32. Okay, right. I need to remember that this is a long game that we're in." And I think the other thing that was really important for us was she helped us figure out our dynamic. What are our what are our arguments and stuff always go back to? And a lot of it for us is our dynamic is, if you think about a football player who has the parachute on. Is that what it's called? The cell? She plays football, so she should be explaining this, okay? What is it? Explain it, honey. Just explain it. Yeah, so we're running, right? And she has the parachute on that's holding us back. She's the one running, oh, let's just do this. Let's do that. Let's move forward. And I'm the parachute. I'm the one who's nope, let's slow down. Let's think about it more. Once we figure that out, it helps illumine a lot of what happens in our relationship, the dynamics around that kind of push-pull of move forward or stuff. And I would also say, sadly, so many people that I know, that we know, part of their moving apart in their relationship was that one person wouldn't go to counseling. And so when I counsel people, it's really important that I want them, before they're married, to be introduced to somebody that they trust, that is trained, because when that moment comes, having somebody you trust to go to and talk to who's objective is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's critical.
I love this comment that our featured artist for the month, Samuel, says, man, he says, love shouldn't be a relationship because ships sail away. It should be a bridge. It should be a bridge to shores connecting, becoming one. It's dope. It's just,
that was very poetic.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's that poet.
Okay,
you know he be killing them.
Okay.
Hey, y'all know poets be deep.
Hey, listen. All I know is I ain't gonna leave too many. I wouldn't leave too many honeys I want around him, man. He might drop a line on him, and it'd be over for the game.
It's all whispering in their ear. It's a rap, bro. It's a rap.
We're about
Brother
to close,
Rain,
guys.
put it down.
Before we close, I have a question.
Which way you going?
Well, about the black relationship.
I was about to ask that one too. Go ahead.
No, it's cool.
Go ahead.
So 3J and I guess both have the same question.
Y'all can't use yourselves either.
I think it's a two-part, though. I like to, since we're going to close in a few seconds or a few minutes. What do you think about the state or the images of black love that are represented right now in the world? And
that was different from that.
What would you like for people to know about black love? So that's kind of a twofold question. But what do you think about the imagery, right, that's represented for black love right now, this current moment in the world? And what do you want people to know about black relationships and black love?
I like that. If I went out, and we were talking about this earlier, about just like we look at the movies, every time it's a black couple or a black love story, it's always like Neil Soul and, you know what I mean, like Love and Basketball or Love Jones. Is always some type of like Spike Lee weird, like, you know what I'm saying, like super poetry love. And it's like that's not always the black experience. Yeah, I like poetry, but that, you know what I'm saying, like I don't feel like media captures black love. I think there's a stereotype of what black love is, and it's not always that. Like, you know what I mean? You have people who are goofy, you have people who are serious, you have people who are in between, and I don't think, and that's just one aspect, but that's the aspect I have focused on. Movie wise, I don't think it gets the whole aspect. Like either the guy did something, you know what I'm saying? Like either it's a Tyler Perry and everybody came back to Jesus and they got back together, or it's like Neil Soul, weird basketball bring them together, or some entity, and it's not, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like, son, out here for it's not always like that. And I just wish it would show the whole totality of the black experience, not just circling in on certain aspects of the black experience.
Yeah,
it's different. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's highs and lows. I mean, you have, Cardi B. What's her husband's name? I can't even remember. And then you have your Will Smith, and Jada Pinkett. You have, Real Situations, Devon Franklin and Megan Good. I think there's a full gambit. I mean, you got the housewives. You know what I mean? It's like highs and lows. It's kind of everywhere. Kind of showing the different dynamics between black love, I guess I would say. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if whatever image of black love you want to see, you can. There's different avenues to see it. One of the things I did in working on our marriage was I was sure to like go on Instagram and follow like all the black love pages, and just for me to see a different, like sometimes a different style of love, of showing love and how they love. And I've been appreciative of like those public displays and putting it out for the world and things like that. One of the things that has probably changed my life just about love and our love has been the kind of the saga of Jada and Will and following both their individual stories and their story together, like, and how they've talked about it together. And I mean, more so because it is, I think the one thing that is happening more than anything right now is that Black love is moving from the space where we just gonna stay together for 40 years just to stay together, and people are making more intentional decisions to, all right, like if we're gonna do this, let's do this, and like let's be serious about this. Let's build like something for real and not have it built on like. And I mean, sometimes just the fear of being broken up or going our separate ways or something like that. Let's really, and I mean, this is from my experience and the people I've been talking to. Let's take the time to build something that is worth having, not just a title, you know, of being like, you know, married. Like let's be married, and even if we didn't have the title, didn't have a you know, a certificate, like how do we live as partners? How do we build as partners? And how do we, you know, become the support system for each other that we need? And so from that perspective, I think that is where I've seen the most growth in Black love, and I've loved the expression of it. I've loved to be, you know, on spaces like this with other Black couples. It definitely made my heart smile when it popped up and it was just like all of us. And even, I mean, it was just like, yo, no, you don't see this often, but it was, I mean, it's amazing. And I mean, it encourages me to even to reach back and to talk to, you know, my younger bro and his homies about love, and to do kind of what I didn't have on this journey, to be real about like what love is, and not just do the thing of, hey, you get married because you like the person, or you get married to the person that you can't stop having sex with, or, you know, you get married to the person that you've just bonded with for your whole life. Like, nah, let's take the time to figure out why we're really in this and what we're really doing. Like, what is our goal in this? So for anything, I would just say Black love is here for you to make it what you want it to be.
I like that.
I was gonna say, man, if I could, because I got a perspective relative to that one, man. I feel like I'm seeing, at least in my world, in my worldview, where I am right now, again, within this last year, coming out of an engagement, being prepared to like really already making full plans for a wedding and all this stuff, to breaking that engagement off, and then to now being in the space where I'm being pursued, and I'm also in pursuit of someone this quickly. And it's something that I think sometimes love is taking turns, and I'm kind of building to a point. At the end of a thing, it doesn't look like you're going to find anything that looks like that. You're not going, and I'm speaking to just Harrison. I didn't feel like I was going to find somebody that was going to be down and, you know, be loyal, and somebody that I could build a partnership with, right? A business relationship as well as a romantic one, a familiar one, as well as a friend, you know, a friendly platonic one as well. You know, somebody in all these spaces, regardless. One of the things I'm seeing now, more than anything, more than any other time in my life, I think on one side, I'm seeing society continue to try to, or rather even culture, continue to try to put Black love, almost like the iPhone and Galaxy phones, iPhones and Androids. They're starting to upgrade the software, but they're starting to look the same. And it's like they're trying to merge what used to be with where they're still trying to go. And it's like everything's just starting to look the same. And now nobody knows whether it's Android or iPhone. You just pull it up and it's a green or a blue message. That's all they know. Rather than getting to the heart of the thing and why I'm loyal to this brand. Why do I go to this phone? Why does this make sense for me? Versus another perspective that I'm seeing as well is that I'm seeing a lot more models. I'm seeing a lot more of this. I'm seeing a lot more people breaking out of that traditional, just like you said, hey, we're going to stay married just because we're going to stay married. And it's like, you know, okay, while I'm not going to be like one that I say I'm just fully in belief of divorce, but it's also as a product of, you know, a twice divorced household at that. My parents divorced twice, had 3 kids, both remarried again. Dad went on to remarry another time, but regardless, both living better lives apart. So I think Black love looks a lot similar like any other love, but we have a connecting piece that helps us tie into our culture, helps us tie into our history as well, gives us something to lean back on, again, that's broader than ourselves.
Come on, Pastor.
I feel like
I would say, Yeah, I would say that images of Black love have improved throughout the years, but I think what's missing for me is the diversity within the relationships. You know, there's a whole African Caribbean diaspora of Black, and there's American Black, and when you put those things together, it has a lot of commonality, but it has a lot of edges too. And those, relationship, um, when those things collide and relate within relationship, it's really complex. It's almost like a completely different culture, a completely different experience. So,
Can I say?
yeah.
So Bukola is Nigerian American, and so I'm Black American, and it wasn't until we were actually on our honeymoon when we realized, like, oh right, we're from different cultures, and had no model for that at all. That like she was made fun of by Black people all through like growing up, and she also had been taught some hard things about Black people that were untrue, right? So there was like this way in which we had to like talk about that, and just really had no models. We were like, we both look Black, so of course we're the same, which was not true.
Yeah, that's dope. That's good. Charles, Kessie?
I would say this. I agree with what everyone on the panel said, but I know from speaking to like, if we'll talk to like younger people and single people, there is social media is a very polarizing experience. It makes you feel like your circle of friends is the entire world's conscious, and a lot of the way social media kind of is posted up, joisted up right now, I see a lot of Black men versus Black women, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
these
Yeah.
guys aren't crap. I'm trying to keep it PG, and these girls suck. So it's like, and I think that is a very dangerous thing to do, because I have friends of different diversities, and I see that a lot in our culture as if it's normal. And I think it does two things. One, it starts making these very weird, odd, unrealistic expectations of what love is. And it makes it very, very easy to quit when a person doesn't fit into your perfect idea of this is what they're supposed to be. So I think what I've been always trying to do, and what me and Kessie always agree with, is we just want to always make sure we're an example, because we want to just normalize the fact that love can be just two people learning how to coexist and taking the time out to put God first and then see what life has to throw at you, and just make sure no matter what it is, it's going to get windy, and you hold hands very tightly. So I really dislike the idea when I constantly see people, someone would have dated 3 girls in their whole life, and they hurt them, and they're like, all women suck, or like, that's not how it is. It's the 3 you dated suck, but there's more. We keep going.
And you keep going back to that same type of one that
right.
Or you suck, and the girls know that.
Or you suck, right.
Come on, right? Yes.
all of that.
That is a very dangerous outlook. I understand heartbreak, and I understand depression, I understand despair, and how it can make you feel like everyone out there is like that, but that is absolutely not the case. And although it may seem like it, because social media will kind of push that stuff to the forefront, it's absolutely not the case. And that's why you have amazing things like all these beautiful people here who can be the example to be like, no, this is what it looks like, and it is absolutely possible. You just got to keep going out there and remember to put God first. That's just my opinion.
Love.
I love it. Yo, you all have been amazing tonight. Listen, this thing could go on forever, because it's so important. I want to read 2 comments. One, Sheila, Mama Dent, Pastor Dent, also Pastor Mark James, thank you for being on, brother. But Reverend Dent, she says, I think the Black love that I see in this program is what the media and culture work really hard to make invisible. I believe it's there and has been there, but it's not what the dominant culture wants to promote. That strength in the Black community, and the media only wants to undermine our relationships, families, and communities.
Mama Dent.
And Kim B, she has a haiku that sort of takes all of that. She says, haiku, media sound bites cannot define Black love. Don't ask Google either.
All right, cool.
Go ahead, Kim.
So, as we close, I cannot thank you enough. Jackie, if you're on, if you could run through some of the pictures. I had the experience of, officiating Charles and Kessie's wedding, and then was best friend for my boy Tehran down there just a couple of months ago. And I just a couple of weeks ago. And so I had these beautiful, all these pictures of you all's wedding. Yeah, we just run through
Look at that fly guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So next week, and I thought I had some of Tonetta and Bukola in there as well. I might not have put them in that second one that I sent to her. But listen, next week we're going to continue this sneaky links, situationships, and entanglements.
Can I be on that? I couldn't think of the name of it. Sneaky links.
Oh yeah, there's.
Oh, those are nice.
That's his daughter. Yep, there we go.
Oh yeah.
I like that. That was tight. That was tough.
Oh my god.
Nah, that's cold.
Yeah, hey, that black suit was fly. I ain't gonna hold you. That
Hey,
black suit
that
was
was
fly.
cold.
It made me want to put one on for a second, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I think Pastor Mark James says it so bad. He says, "Thank you for coming over. Thank you for your vulnerability. Your vulnerability meant everything. And I think the world needs to see that because there's so much that that people can learn. And I don't just mean Black folk. I mean the world can learn from the Afrocentric relationship. And I think you all expressed that so well tonight. Listen, if you want to, thank you for all of our who logged on, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook. Make sure to follow us at all our social media spots. You can find us at Facebook and on Instagram at Encounter the Well. We would love to have you follow us so we can keep you updated to what's going on. Make sure you follow our website, www.encounterthewell.org. You can follow us there. And listen, it takes money to move this thing. So if you'd like to partner with us or invest in what we're doing, you can text any dollar amount like it is in the picture to the number 84321. And we will gladly receive your donation, your gift, and we will put it to good use. And make sure you're following the Amplify Network. Make sure you're following them. Jackie and beautiful, amazing couple, and we're so grateful for them. Again, next week we're talking sneaky links, entanglements, and
Sneaky links is gonna be fun.
It's gonna get crazy next week.
It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna get crazy. And then at the end of the month, we're gonna end it off with some amazing women who are gonna come in and we're gonna talk about the love of the Black woman. The love of the Black woman. It's gonna get
the ladies
crazy this month.
No, it's gonna be dope.
So we are
Hey, I'm gonna participate next week. But I want to let y'all know ahead of time. I'm gonna talk about my past life. Like this is my sneaky link. This is my sneaky link. This is the first link.
There you go.
The best link. This the Wi-Fi link. This the.
Love that disclaimer. That's it right there. There you go. Cover yourself, brother. Cover yourself.
We're gonna cover ourselves early. We're gonna discuss past life.
I know Jordan was on. Jordan, I'm gonna give you a call tonight because I like to talk to you. Again, thank you all so much to our artist Samuel Raines. We appreciate you, brother. We're gonna have you on all month, and all of his information will be there. Brother Samuel, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
And Ray,
all right, so
thank
listen.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir, Reverend.
Yes, Reverend.
Absolutely, absolutely. Real quick, Tonetta, how can they follow you? How can they go to where can they follow you at? You can even talk about the Table Church real quick. How can people hear you preach? How can people hear you teach? How can people follow what you're doing in the ministry?
Yeah, so I mean, the easiest thing is just to check out thetablechurch.org. The services are streamed every single week at 10 a.m. And at 5 p.m. So check that out. Right now, we're moving into a series on decolonizing the Christian faith, which I'm super excited about, and talking about liberation from different angles. So yeah, check that out. Website's the easiest way to find that out.
And Bukola, it sounds like you're offering some great services and resources too. How can people follow and be in touch with you?
Yeah, I run an organization called Q Christian Fellowship. So qchristian.org is how you find out more about that. You can send parents who are struggling with, a kid coming out. You can send folks who are LGBTQ, and you can send allies to learn more, learn how to support each other's liberation.
Awesome. Listen, I appreciate you all so much again. Cathy got some music that's coming down the road, so y'all be on the lookout for that. We're going to talk more about that. Kessie, Charles, again, Kessie's amazing smile. Thank you so much. Kanitha, I know you were shy, but thank you for your beautiful spirit. And we will catch you all next week. Listen, until then, I love you all. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Catch you guys next week.
Squad.
Bye.
Bye.